Hello viewers, I'm Simon Preston and this is Reggae Boys Commentary. The home of Caribbean football has announced their all-time Caribbean 11 and there are 3 Jamaicans part of this list. So we're going to go through in this video the 11 players who have made the list, players who could have been in the list, and also let me know your thoughts in the comments below about these players as well. Just to give you a bit of background on the overall representation of the list, there's 3 Jamaicans in the list. 2 players from Trinidad and Tobago, 1 Bermudan, 1 Guadeloupean, a Surinamese player, a Curacao player, a Cuban, and a Grenadian from the Spice Isles. So the system that was set up here was a 4-4-2 system by the home of Caribbean football. And in goal they have the Curacao goalkeeper, Ergilio Haito. Quite prominent during the 1940s, established himself as a wonderful player throughout that time where the Dutch Caribbean truly shined. This was before the French Caribbean of Haiti started to dominate as well. During that period of time, this player, he turned down the likes of Real Madrid to stay in Curacao, and he helped them to accolades in the Central American Caribbean Games, which was bigger than what it was today, and also the Pan American Games, helping them to medals there and then. And he, in goal, he was that sort of player that had a never give up attitude no matter what the score was. And to me, he's definitely in my top 3 all-time Caribbean goalkeepers. If there was a player that I think would be in my number 1, the player that I selected for this one, because I sent in my all-time list as well, and I'm happy that 3 players are part of the starting 11 that was given here. The player that I chose was Juan Ira of Cuba. He is a member of Cuba's 1938 World Cup team, and if you remember, Cuba has gone the farthest of all the Caribbean teams that have been to the World Cup. They went to the quarterfinals that year. They really made a good impression. They got through Sweden, and if you look at some of the statistics from those games and also qualifying for that tournament, you look at Juan Ira and he had some diligent displays, making an average 4 saves per game. His positioning was good, and the media during that time were bigging him up during that period of time. So for me, Ira would be number 1, but I don't have any complaints with having Haito in it. So moving on to the defense, right back, Jocelyn Angloma. I'm happy that this player is part of the list because he's a player I recommended as well. I sent in my list when I was doing the voting as well. He played, as you know, he played for Guadeloupe in his 40s at the 2007 CONCACAF Gold Cup. And at the Orange Bowl Stadium in Miami, Florida, he scored the best goal in CONCACAF Gold Cup history. Better than Fitzroy Simpson's free kick against El Salvador in the 98 Gold Cup. Better than Omar Daly's goal against Grenada at the 2011 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Better than Giles Barnes' goal against the United States at the 2015 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Angloma scored the best goal in Gold Cup history. This is against Canada, scoring from 45 yards out in a shocking 2-1 victory on the day. Solid right back, hard working, that's exactly what you want. Overlaps every now and again, and he has a La Liga title under his belt, Champions League medal as well. So as it relates to runners-up and all of that, so he's made a big impression, and he has vast amounts of experience playing over 400 games in Europe, so he's made an impression, you could say, in Europe. Centre half, this is where things get interesting. Ian Pepe Goodison. I wouldn't necessarily have him in an all-time Caribbean list. I mean, he has done a wonderful job and vastly experienced player, and a wonderful servant as well to Jamaican and Caribbean football. Our most capped player as well, up there with Warren Barrett and also with Bibi Gardner. But an all-time list, he captained our team to our first ever victory at the World Cup, beating Japan, and interestingly, did you know, this is the 18-year anniversary of us beating Japan at the World Cup. On this day, June 25th. Can you believe it? Well, the 26th is tomorrow, so, but it's the eve of it, you could say, where it's 18 years ago that we beat the Japanese at the World Cup, beating them 2-1 this allegation. 18 years, can you imagine that? Wow. Time really flies. But yes, I would have him on my bench in an all-time Caribbean list. I wouldn't have him to start, but Ian Goodison, another fantastic and outstanding player for Jamaica. A Jamaican player that I wanted in my list was Adrian Mariappa. And a lot of people might say, really, in an all-time list? Well, that's the impact that he has made for us. If you remember, before the year 2012, we had a string of 5 losses in a row. We're conceding an average 2.5 goals per game, and teams were taking between 8 to 10 shots on us on target. So the defence needed some work. And with a player like Adrian Mariappa, who partnered Nair Nosworthy, the tandem between each other, and especially Adrian Mariappa, his quick feet, his aerial duels, and he's not even a tall player, he's 5 feet 11 inches tall. I think he should have been part of this list. He only has 40 caps for Jamaica. Yes, he only has a silver medal at the Gold Cup, but our skipper is going to be part of that 100 club very soon. Barring injury, he's going to get to 100 caps for Jamaica, undoubtedly. In my system, I had it as a 3-4-3 sort of system because I want my team to go out and attack. That's the sort of system I had because of the players that I had. They were filled with pace, and I think they could drop back deep as well to help in the defensive part of it and everything like that. I had Durant Brown in my list, as well as another Jamaican, and Ezra Hendrickson, who is part of this honourable mention list, as you'll see later down the road. The other centre-half that was part of the Home of the Caribbean Football's list was Humphrey Mishnals from Suriname. He was born in the 30s, and interestingly, a tidbit on him, thanks to Nathan Carr about this as well, from the Home of Caribbean Football. He was the first black player to represent the Netherlands, having made a debut in 1960. So he represented the Dutch, Netherlands and Suriname. And it's not a large amount of players that did this, so to come from the Caribbean and represent the cream of the crop in Europe, outstanding as well. You've cemented yourself in history, undoubtedly. Edgar Davids is another player that was born in Suriname and represented the Netherlands, but he never represented Suriname though. Left back, Kemar Lawrence is on the list. Interesting, isn't it? He's only started to play football. Yes, he has an injury to recover from, but I do think that he has the potential to go on further and be an outstanding player. So we're going to keep our eyes on this and see what happens. My left back, I had Wilfred Louis from Haiti, from the 1974 World Cup team. He created havoc against Italy that day when they broke Dino Zoff's record of going over 1,000 minutes without conceding a goal. So he deserves some props to me. And the last Jamaican in this list by the Home of Caribbean Football, Lindy De La Pena. If you remember as well, he won the Premier League, the last Jamaican to win the Premier League. Well, they call it the Football League at that time, Portsmouth, back in the 40s, 1948 to be specific. He was a super athlete. He did so much events at Boys Champs in Jamaica, and he scored a lot of goals as well. He played up in the northeast with Middlesbrough, played with Portsmouth as well, where he won a title, and he made a massive impression as well. And he played as a right winger during that time, so part of this list as well, he's a right winger. Central midfield part of this list, Shalry Joseph from Grenada, outstanding servant for the New England Revolution throughout his time as well. Remember that dreadlocks player. So he's been a good player, excellent passer of the football. I've always admired him, and good communicator. And now he's playing his tier in the fourth tier of American football. Russell Latterpley, agree with this selection as well. made a name for himself as well, especially in Scotland as well. Played in Portugal as well, and he's also got into coaching as well. So I think he has the potential to be an outstanding coach in the future. Early 40s, but he's going to be somebody to watch. He's going to be 50 next year, is he? 2 years from now. So he's developing as a coach for sure. Juan Tornas from Cuba. He's on the left wing part of this list, and he contributed to Cuba's 1938 World Cup campaign, and he was a player that helped him to play outside of Cuba and played in the Mexican League. Striker up front, he had Dwight York and Clyde Best. Clyde Best, as I remember, had to overcome a number of hurdles. He spoke about racism that he faced throughout that period of time and everything like that, but he scored lots of goals throughout his time. And in England, he played with West Ham United, a club that loves him and sings his name up to this day. It was him, and there's another Bermudan player that strutted his stuff as well in the Premier League. He was at Manchester City, Sean Gota, as well, from Bermuda. So these two players as well have made an impression. And of course, Dwight York. But in my list, I had Dwight York as the attacking midfielder, number 10, because I wanted to accommodate 3 strikers in my team that had goals. Stern John, 70 goals for his country. Luton Shelton, 35 goals for his country. Big Peter Byers of Antigua and Barbuda, 30 plus goals as well. So I would have accommodated all 3. In the honourable mentions list, the home of Caribbean football had Shaka Hislop, Emerson Boyce, Ezra Hendrickson, Theodore Whitmore, Felipe Vorbe of Haiti, Emmanuel Sanon of Haiti, Stern John of Trinidad, who I just mentioned, Sean Gota, Bermuda, Peter Byers, Antigua and Barbuda, Keith Gums, St. Kitts and Nevis. Where is Luton Shelton? I would have had Luton Shelton in the team. Look at all the goals he scored. 35 goals he scored for his country. All of them have come against CONCACAF teams. Over 25 of them has come against Caribbean opposition. He needs to be part of this list. I'm Simon Preston, this is Reggae Boys Commentary. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below about the Jamaicans that made the list. Do you agree with the 3 that have made the list? In addition to that, which Jamaicans do you think should be in the list? Which Jamaicans should not be in the list? Which Jamaicans you think will be future stars? Let me know all of this, your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget as well to check out this link as well below to the full article as well on the home of Caribbean football, on the players as well. And also don't forget as well to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary.